It's Sunday evening, and that music can only mean one thing. It's Your Move. Your Move is a show that tackles current events, and you get my take on it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Me? Well, I'm Kent Jones, founder, CEO of DDOE Enterprises. Of course, It's Your Move is brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Mobile Accounting. Experience, education, character, and inherent ability with numbers, an exceptional CPA. These are the reasons why business owners choose Eric Mason of Mobile Accounting for their payroll and tax services. Mobile Accounting, 224-321-6859. Check them out at www.mobile.tax. Of course, let's get this show on the road. We're going to play some good music, have a little bit of fun, and you just might learn a thing or two before we're done. All right. You just might learn a thing or two before we're done. Hopefully everybody out there on Facebook can hear me okay tonight. I have no idea. If not, go over to our YouTube channel because that's where I like to stream things. Facebook, I'm using the Yeti and a couple of weird things out there. Try our app. Our app you'll have better sound with as well. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. A little bit late to everybody. Hope you had a great week. It was a week of rest here at the station, but we will be back in full swing here this week. So going to be looking forward to that. What happened this week as I dropped my pencil? Well, got it. Several governors, it seems, throughout the United States have instituted a form of quote-unquote lockdown using their executive order, guys. And the state that I live in, Illinois, is not unlike any of those. With that being said, I found it interesting that the McHenry County State's Attorney, and that's the county that I live in, released this announcement. And I quote, "Orders to ban indoor dining will not be enforced by McHenry County State's Attorney for immediate release. The McHenry County State's Attorney's Office will not be enforcing Governor Pritzker's executive orders banning indoor dining. In making this decision, we could not avoid considering the nature of these executive orders. First, there is no provision in the executive orders or the Illinois Emergency Management Act requiring or even authorizing the state's attorney's office to enforce these orders." Second, there is the legitimate question currently being litigated as to whether the executive orders, which require the governor to exercise quote-unquote emergency powers, are authorized under Illinois law or otherwise constitutional. The legitimacy of the governor's exercising quote-unquote emergency powers is going on 10 months now. Could have been easily answered by the Illinois legislature. To date, and despite having ample opportunity, the legislature has offered nothing. In other words, the people's representatives charged with advancing the will and interests of residents have yet to consider or legislate on one of the most important issues the state has ever faced. And you voted for them. Rather, the governor has taken it upon himself to unilaterally make laws by executive order without any identifiable criteria or process that drastically impact the day-to-day lives and constitutional rights of every Illinois resident, and then execute those laws. This is a very dangerous combination in a constitutional republic. Wow. McHenry County State's Attorney put their foot down. No. I know that I just got a lot of the hair on the back of your neck standing up, as many of you truly want this virus to go away. And how can this happen when people are still okay to eat in restaurants? I don't know. But, let me tell you. Okay, Facebook people, I got to talk to you because, well, we can't play too much music on Facebook or have a good time because we'll get zuckered. Ted, glad to hear you're healthy, brother. Very good to hear. Fun. Phil Nasserino, how are you, buddy? Lori, good evening. My good friend Lisa, good evening. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Watching rated R movies. Stay inside for sure. Let's come back here. A little Green Day for you. I fought the law, and the law won. Always. Okay, let's jump back into this. Of course, at this point, not me. I'm not going to debate what is legal and what is constitutional, what is not legal. I don't have a law degree. All I know is what I read and what I have read on our good friend, the Pocket Constitution. Interesting. And it spells it out very simply. But let's look at the situation that we're being handed. We're being forced to live in. And if the general public is willing to live by these demands from governors. As people in the great state of Illinois were told by their governor to stay inside unless they were in need of basic necessities, food, things like that. Heck, we were told to work from home if possible as we rolled back phases here. We were told to not gather in big crowds. As a matter of fact, you couldn't have more than 10 people in your house for Thanksgiving. I did. Huh. Now, judging from what I saw this weekend, I think the people of Illinois have given our great governor the middle finger. Oh, yes. You see, on Friday afternoon, I cut out of work a little bit early, and I headed down to Woodfield Mall to take advantage, I guess, of some of the Black Friday specials. Now, to my surprise, when I got there were thousands of people shopping inside. There were thousands of people. It was like there was no order to not gather. I mean, there were lines outside of stores as the stores were only allowing so many shoppers in at one time. Absolutely. And as I sat and people watched, which I absolutely love to do, one of my favorite things is to people watch. I was overly impressed as not one person was maskless. Not one person coughed, and no little kids were smearing their greasy fingers all over everything. Truth be told, as I was smack dab in the middle of a super spreader situation, the people were doing everything they could to protect themselves and others in that situation. You know what? That made me feel pretty good. Lisa, I appreciate that. Lisa says, Candace Owens says Facebook cannot say an opinion is false. So before she pushes the envelope of truth, they don't like and might get zuckered. She says, my opinion before everything. Just FYI. Okay, Candace's opinion. I kid you. All right. So, as I'm sitting there feeling pretty good, kind of reminded me of this song.
The year is 2020, the number. Another summer, get down. Girl, another funky drummer. Music and hot cause I know you got soul. The information they've got to see what's really wrong with these racist days. I honor the strong, the pity the weak. Your thoughts run your life, be careful what you think. Haiti, France, in century 17. So me Toussaint and gasoline. And I do love France, know what I mean? It's a system I'm talking, nobody's agreeing. They say it's suicide, but dead bodies are swinging. Cowards are hunting black men, that's what I'm seeing. How many toasters have been burnt down? And one Central Park was a thriving black town. Yo, Chuck, I'm fighting the power right now. Thanks to you, Flavor, PE, putting it down. Putting your life on the line so I can rap now. The next generation still singing, fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power.
I did see that she won that lawsuit against Facebook fact checkers. Opinions, they matter. And of course, we're in a big part of the world right now, or part of our lifeline, where opinions do matter. We just kind of have to work with that and understand it's okay to have opinions. And I can't thank you all enough out there on Facebook for hanging out with me right now. I don't even know if the Bears are playing yet or if they are on later, but it's the Bears and Packers. And if I'm pulling in a couple of y'all, bless you for that. Bless you for that. It's a long song. It goes on and on and on and on Absolutely does. Of course, heck, Lisa, great show this morning. Love that on Sunday mornings, but come in tomorrow morning from 7 to 9. Uncle Pete the Morning will be back with some fresh tunes ready to go. And then Tuesday, come back in because on Tuesday, with Anything Goes with Brimmer and Jones, got a friend of mine, Fred Dudek, who owns Lil Bird Kitchens, Lilbird Kitchens. And he's going to be bringing us some treats and talking about his business. Really, really cool. Small business. If you're a foodie, you're going to love it. So make sure you come back for that. Here, let's play a little more music.
Check this out, man. Bring that beat back, man. 2, 3, 4, hit it. People stronger than this evil, smashing your power structure. Melanin royal people, system designed to kill and unprotect. Worldwide, hit the streets just to get some respect. Our fight and our rights for freedom will never waver. Justice Breonna Taylor, salute Chuck and Flavor. Kill the same anger since Radio Raheem died. Black power to the people, push forward, pride. Fight the power like it's a hot stove. Born to fight, made it off the block though. Thought he had a gun and he was black. That's the combo. The police killed George having the combo. They killed Malcolm X, they killed Dr. King. They gave us guns and dope, they want to stop the teens. Trying to erase our history, stop and think. History class ain't tell us about Juneteenth. Got to give a damn about the knees, bro. Pull it to the killer, people use a key, bro. Living life on welfare. Last time we killed was Obamacare, Brown Quill. No kind of blood, gotta keep fire. Jump through the North Korea. They respect violence. You ain't trying to have your city on fire. Put some respect on our name. We come from gold and diamonds. Fight the power. Fight the power. We got to fight the power. Elvis was a hero of the month, but he never lived to me and see straight up reaching the circle with simple and plain. Cause I'm black and I'm proud, I'm ready, I'm hyper, I'm here. Most of my heroes on a piano stand. Said all of that, you look at my numbers, my rating for 200 years in the check. Was a number one jam. If I said you was like me right here, get it. Right on, come on. What we got to say? All the people know the lane. They never see.
Aha, yes. Fight the Power. Back in 1989, my good friends Public Enemy did that one. This is a remix here of this year with Nas, Rhapsody, Black Thought. Oh, man, it's just a group of people throwing it together. Fight the Power. Gary, good morning. Happy Monday to you over there in Singapore, my friend. Happy Monday. All right, let's be honest. When it comes to COVID-19, the government is still, listen to me, still trying to rule by fear. How much do we know? How much have they allowed us, quote unquote, to know? Well, let me help. The CDC, this is from the CDC this morning as I was putting the show together. There are 12,999,664 cases of COVID here in the United States, with 263,956 deaths with related COVID-19 comorbidities, not mobile. It's not co-mobile. It's just the morbid, the death. Anyway, people who died could have died from other causes too. You know what I'm trying to say. Now, if we look at just that, here in the United States, the death rate is a whopping 2%. 2%. Let's turn that coin over and say this. There is a 98% survival rate. That's exciting here in the United States. So what does it mean? Well, we can now say that the virus is not a death sentence, and that perhaps our bodies are learning to either live with it or fight it off. Now, for those of you who are getting your neck hair up in a tizzy, you're worried that I'm making light of this virus. By no means am I. It's real and it has real effects and it can take lives. Much like any other virus that has spread around the world. In fact, the CDC is aiming to reduce the quarantine requirements for someone potentially exposed to the virus from 14 days to somewhere between 7 to 10 days. Now, the change in days, in addition to conducting a test, is being pursued as health officials try to gain better compliance with an increasingly COVID-weary population, according to the Wall Street Journal, that is. See, the decision is also guided by a better understanding of the phases of virus incubation and transmissibility. The more we know. You see, within 5 days after exposure is when individuals typically display some symptoms, very similar to influenza, according to the CDC in October, but it can take as much as 14 days to show those as well. But a recent study from the CDC suggests 7 days of isolation will be sufficient. So why aren't we letting people know that, yes, we are testing more and more people every day here in the United States because there are more tests available, which means if there are more tests, there's going to be more people who test for the antibodies and the COVIDs. Yes, which means our numbers will go up. 85,000 people were hospitalized last week from COVID-19. 85,000 people. But they're not all in New York City. They're not all in Chicago. This is spread out the United States. I don't have the ages of the hospitalized, but understand, when you sprinkle that all across America, is that really so bad? 85,000 who are hospitalized from it? It's bad, but is it that bad? Is it bad enough? Is it bad enough to wait inside and hide and live your life in fear? I love it, Lisa. Booze, drugs, prescriptions, stress, foods, and more also could be life. Oh, yes, absolutely. But since we have you living in fear, and now we want to shut down more states and close more businesses, who are we going to depend on? Who are we going to rely on? You have to rely on you. That's right. You have to rely on you. So here's what we know. Here's what we know. This is America, and you are free to make decisions for yourself. When it's your move, understand that you have to make an educated decision on what is best for you and your family. Me, if I know that someone in your household has the flu, you're not coming to my house. I would scratch my head and question that. At the same time, if someone in your house has COVID-19, you're not coming to my house. I'm not a germaphobe. I just prefer to stay healthy. Now, if my child has the flu, they're not going to go to school. I'm not going to put them around other people to spread those germs. We're going to deal with it at home. We're going to get them healthy. You're absolutely right, Lisa. Living and being alive is not the same thing. No, it's not. We're put on this earth to live. Right? So if you want to go out and eat and dine in, that's what you would like to do, go do it. If you prefer to, well, stay inside, separate yourself from the potential of catching a virus, so it'll help you sleep at night, by all means, stay inside. By all means, stay inside. So here's what not to do. Do not judge others on how they live their life. Stop it. Stop judging others on how they live their life. For the most part, as I saw tens of thousands of people out and about scurrying around this weekend, it appears that several people, most people, almost all the people, are just as concerned with your health as they are with their own, by wearing masks and staying socially distant. And I gotta ask, if the state's attorney is saying that what the governor is doing is unconstitutional and illegal, perhaps we should not follow in step. You see, education removes all fear. I'm going to say that again. Education removes all fear. And when you have removed all your fear, exactly what do you have to worry about?
Oh, do you want to do a song?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a song by the Chips.
Here on the hill, on the hill, here on the hill, on the hill, out on the hill, on the hill, out on the hill, on the hill, here on the hill, on the hill, out on the hill, on the hill, right on the hill, on the hill, here on the hill, on the hill, here on the hill, on the hill.
Do that again.
Ball. Here on the hill, on the hill, yeah, on the hill, on the hill, here on the hill, on the hill, out on the hill, on the hill, here on the hill, on the hill, out on the hill, on the hill, here on the hill. Have you ever heard of a wish sandwich? A wish sandwich is the kind of a sandwich where you have 2 slices of bread and you wish you had some meat. Ball. The other day, I had a ricochet biscuit. Ricochet biscuit is the kind of a biscuit that's supposed to bounce back off the wall into your mouth. If it don't bounce back, you go hungry. Ball.
Oh, well, I couldn't get away without playing a little Blues Brothers this evening. And let's try to not get into a position where we have to have a wish sandwich, right? So education removes all fear. Take time to educate yourself on what is happening in the world. Take time to educate yourself on the Constitution of the United States and what governors can and can't do, what the federal government can and can't do. Because that's what I'm doing. But now, it's your move.
One for nothing. Rubber biscuit. Wow.